Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Soul. And today I'm going to be hitting you with another topic. And here's a question for you. Let's say between all the art mediums out there, whether you really like music, movies, games, books, anime / television, comic books, whatever it is, let's say you could only have one of those for the rest of your life. Which one would you take? Now, part of the reason I became a multi-media reviewer was because I love all of those things. I can't just dedicate myself to just one of those things. And part of that is because I feel like being able to just kind of wander through, maybe not casually, but just kind of as a non-elitist, you could say, allows me to kind of still enjoy these things. Whenever I watch too many movies, I feel like you only have so many 10 out of 10s in your body, and it's if you watch all the fucking movies ever, it's it's gonna be really far in between. But if I just watch a movie every once in a while, or I just get really into film for these little bursts when I just really am passionate about it. Recently I started watching a lot more movies, and it's made me appreciate film more. And I know I just got out of it, and I'll probably move on to something else. I know I'll probably start doing a lot more music related stuff because I've been really trying to do that lately. And the same thing goes for anime. I'll just get really into anime for a while. I'll get really into books, although that's kind of far in between nowadays, unfortunately. But I'll get really into wrestling. I'll get really into manga or comics. I'll get really into whatever it is. And I think that's my favorite way to experience those kind of things. But same with games. But there's that one idea that I thought of where it's okay, if I could only have one of these things, which one would it be? Or let's say I only am able to review one thing. What media would I continue? And that is a hard question. So, let's break it down. Each one of my choices, let's just do the 5 things I review. There's movies, games, books, anime / TV, and music. Easily could pick movies. Movies are the bread and butter of entertainment for me. Movies are such a solid, concise way to experience art. You sit down, you get the full experience, you walk out, and you're able to if you really wanted to, you could watch a movie a day. That's 365 movies a year you could be watching. 365 solid art pieces. 300 that's such a great way to experience art. Movies are kind of the foundation of filmmaking, and filmmaking is obviously one of my favorite ways to interpret emotions. I could easily pick books. Books are kind of the hidden resource that I haven't fully tapped into. There's millions of books out there, and a lot of them are really fucking great. And not only that, I know everyone kind of gets pride in loving something that not that many people know about. So if I find all these amazing books that I've yet to read, it's I know that will give me the most satisfaction ever. And not only that, I feel whenever I finish a book, it's so much better of a feeling than when I finish a movie. A book has so much more impact, and the characters are so much deeper, and there's so many more plot threads. You can put so much more into a book, and you are able to with your mind, your imagination is the limit to that book's potential. So books really are kind of the best experience. And not only that, I need to read books in order to write. So, like, that right there would be like another obvious choice. Let's talk about video games. Again, video games have like that impact that books have. You know, they take a bunch of hours. And not only that, video games are obviously like the future of art, because they're the only like art medium right now that's like progressing, and not only that, it's progressing at like a rapid pace. And the culture around games is much more like it's mainstream now, and there's so many different games out there. Like movies, like Hollywood, there's either the Hollywood movies or there's everything else. With games, there's indie games, there's racing games, there's Nintendo games, there's like horror games, like so many different things, and they all like amount to different experiences. And like I would love to just have that medium, because like if I'm only gonna do one art, then I'm gonna dedicate a hell of a lot of time to it. So if I'm only able to play video games, like hell yeah, like I'm finally able to dedicate my time to all this shit, and I can really like put my fucking gears in motion for that, and I can finally play all these games. These games that like the only reason I'm not playing them is because I don't have like the massive amount of hours to dedicate to it. But once all that other shit is gone, boom, video games easily could be my favorite. Or let's talk about anime and TV. Easily like the most like easy to do. Like it's so easy to just sit there and just watch TV. So easy to just throw on like an anime show, just marathon shit. And really like that's such a great way to like get to know like characters. Let's talk about some of my favorite like stories. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like if I wasn't able to watch anime, I wouldn't have that. Dragon Ball. All these things that without like being able to just sit there and marathon these shows, I wouldn't have those. And like there's so many shows that come out. Like I see like all these shows that I know I'll never watch on Netflix, and like they'll just get trailers for it. I'm just like, God damn it, how many shows are out there? Like I'm just covering like the mainstream, like Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, stuff like that. I'm not even like thick. Like there are little children who have seen like all these shows, and it just blows my mind. So I easily could be that person. But then there's music. And if I don't have music in my life, then like my quality of being is just gonna be lowered, because music has made like if I'm gonna do the dishes, if I'm gonna clean, I'm gonna have music playing. And if I don't have music playing, then I'm gonna be upset about it. So my just like driving to work, like all of these things that like I need music for, if I don't have music there, like it's just gonna be white noise. I'm gonna be stuck in my thoughts. I'm gonna get depressed. I don't want that. I don't want that. And if I choose music as my one medium, it's like, okay, I can finally kind of become this like, I can become Anthony Fantano, where I just like listen to music all day, just think about music all day, like finally like listen to all these old records, finally able to like dissect these artists and really get to know them on these deeper levels, and finally do like everything I've ever wanted to. But unfortunately, I don't know if I would choose music. I don't know which one I would choose. This is honestly like one of the hardest questions like I've ever had. If I could only choose one medium, I kind of think I would choose film. Only because it doesn't take that much energy. I could like, even if I play all the like if I have all the hours of video games, I'm still not going to be able to play them all. And I'm not going to be able to listen to all the music. And with books, I don't know if I have that kind of attention span. With anime and TV, I just think I'd rather watch movies. I was kind of like a movie fan first, so I think that's what I would choose if I really had to pick one. And that's a really hard decision. That's cutting out, like, all of these things that I love. It cuts out so many things I want to do with my life. But, yeah, I think that's the one I would choose. And I want to know down below, guys, like, what would you choose? I really want to know. I think this is an amazing question. Anyway, thank you guys for listening as always. Tomorrow I will have another edition of Good Morning Soul up for your viewing pleasures. And until then, thank you for watching. And with that, I leave you.